This lunar eclipse in Pisces is an ending and a chapter that you're closing in order to reach a better, more evolved version of yourself. So if there's something that you feel like you have worked on, but you need to close off because you're now choosing something bigger and better, this is probably that energy. If you're excited to dive into what exactly we can expect from this lunar eclipse in Pisces, make sure that you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you are always up to date with what the stars have in store for you. If you are new here or not new, but you've forgotten my name, I am Maren. I make videos on astrology and I do other things too, so if you want a reading from me, you want to check out my music, whatever, everything is linked below. I am now doing pre-recorded readings because my life is busier and it's easier for me. They also cost less, so definitely check that out if you want a reading and that works for you. So first we're going to get into what exactly an eclipse is, what a lunar eclipse is specifically, then we will get into what this means for the world energetically and what you can expect based on your chart with what's ending in your life. So to start out, what is an eclipse? I have a full video on this that I made years and years ago, but we'll get into a little bit of a preview here. So an eclipse is still a new or a full moon, but it is on the ecliptic, which is the sun's orbit. So there's an intensity and a magnification there. So a solar eclipse is a new moon on steroids, and a lunar eclipse is a full moon on steroids, basically. It is either a new beginning or an ending with extra intensity. And in this case, it is a total lunar eclipse. So it's very close to the ecliptic, which makes it total, and it's a lunar eclipse because it is technically still a full moon. So with any eclipse, the intensity and the duration of those events starts under the eclipse and generally plays out over the next 6 or so months. So with a lunar eclipse, even though in this case it is an ending, expect whatever you're ending or drawing to a close to play out and culminate over 6 months. So let's say that like you're leaving your job, you might decide to leave and start that process now, but it takes you about 6 months to like reposition your career and end up at the actual leaving that you are working towards. That's just an example. So in this case, this is a lunar eclipse in Pisces, and it's happening on September 7th, 2025 at 11:09 a.m. Pacific time. So like full moons that are normal full moons, lunar eclipses, as I mentioned, are endings. They're times of letting go. But in this case, the decision made now will take quite a few months to happen. And Pisces is a mutable water sign. Mutable signs are adaptable and changeable, and water signs are focused on intuitive or emotional strength. So there's a quality here of making a decision that you're willing to be adaptable on. You are willing to be, changeable on how you execute, and it's emotionally meaningful to you. This is definitely something that kind of hits home. Not to say that it's as personal for everyone, though. For some people, this is going to be really, really personal. For other people, it's going to happen in the background, but still be somewhat meaningful to you. So this is happening at 15 degrees of Pisces and Virgo, right in the middle of each sign. And this means that this is associated with the second decan of each of those signs. The decans are the third parts, and it helps give us a little bit of texture or like story to what exactly it's representing in this case. So the second decan of Pisces is associated with the 9 of Cups tarot card, known as the Lord of Material Happiness. That's kind of not necessary. It's just kind of the Lord of Happiness. Pisces is ruled by Jupiter, but this second decan is ruled by Jupiter specifically, and it's generally associated with meaningful, positive abundance around us. It can show that things are going extremely well, both internally and externally. So even though there are some things associated with this lunar eclipse that show seriousness or it being quite a intense time, not intense, just a kind of sober experience, this is specifically a generally good, happy event that we're moving on from. And this also means that the sun is in the second decan of Virgo. So that's associated with the 9 of Pentacles tarot card, and also known as the Lord of Gain, or efficiency of moving through progress by removing what is not needed, or what, like quality control or pruning. So there's a small kind of incremental or slow and steady gain to this. And when you mix those two kind of decans together in a full moon, which in a full moon, the moon generally represents the topic at hand, and the sun is representing us or our decisions behind that. So our decision making with the sun in Virgo here is we are deciding to remove what is no longer useful, and we're pruning things because we're on the come up around something. And with the moon there in Pisces, we're very happy about what we're going to. And even if there's an ending here, the net feeling around this is one of positivity and of being grateful. So with this lunar eclipse, the moon is on the north node and Saturn in Pisces. So the north node, the north and the south node, I have like a video on that in terms of eclipses. That's kind of where eclipse meaning comes from. The north and the south node are energetic extremes. They are not good or bad. I can disagree with so many people about this, but I've never seen the north node be good and south node be bad. No, 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 no. I have only ever seen the north node associated with volume up, increased growth, obsession, or force. It's literally the way that it points. It points up and it shows like a pinnacle kind of going up. So the north node represents growth, progress, intensity towards the future. That does not make it good. So the moon on the north node shows that what is meaningful to us is driving us towards this ending, but that ending is a stepping stone to something in the future. There's a growth quality to this that even with this ending, we're choosing to end something because there's growth. Now, it's not quite as close of a conjunction to Saturn, but Saturn is still relevant for this. It's co-present with the moon. So Saturn being near the moon in this eclipse tells us that there is a sobriety, a maturity, and oh my god, my fucking light. This is insane. This light is literally not running out of battery. This is the worst light in the world. Please stay on. I have 2 other lights that are not as bright, but are reliable if this light turns off. So PSA, if you see a light that looks like this on the TikTok shop that some bitch is lying to you that says works, it doesn't. This thing is horrible, horrible. So with the moon on the north node in Saturn, our future growth is kind of underscored with a maturity and a responsibility. And this is both happy and very mature and very serious. So the sun, therefore, is on the south node and also Mercury in Virgo. So the sun in Virgo, as I know as a Virgo, there's a meticulousness and a seriousness to the way of organizing details and feelings and whatever the topic is at hand. There's a detailed organization to it. So with that on the south node, as you can see what it looks like, it is an open horseshoe. It is associated with releasing, volume down, acceptance, openness, and meeting someone or meeting a situation where it's at and accepting it. And sometimes it can be thought of as relating to the past. I don't know about it being the past as much as what we're comfortable with and we don't feel the need to force. So with Mercury there and Mercury being exalted and in its own sign, we are communicating about the release and we're communicating about the getting rid of and communicating about the moving on. So there is a logical communication about what is being cut out because we need to succeed and go on to the other thing. Mars in Libra is not making any aspects to this lunation. It's not causing any issues or anything, but Mars in Libra is opposite Chiron during this. So although this is not directly related to the matters of this lunar eclipse, in the background, Mars opposite Chiron can show really having triggers or hurt feelings around something because someone is coming at us with our direct biggest trigger or something that is directly just very emotionally tender for us. So that is something that could be happening, not directly related to this lunation, but is happening in the background otherwise. And Mars is also going to be squaring Jupiter, which can inflate action or make us very empowered during this time. That's not bad. So there's a great strength to the actions that we might do during this time, even if they're not related to this lunation. So now let's get into what this means for you based on your rising sign. All transits and the areas of life that they hit are based on your rising sign. So this is associated with what rising sign you have. And since I've been kind of starting with whatever sign the lunation is in, let's start with Pisces. So for Pisces, this is happening in your first house of self. You are probably choosing to let go of something you identified with or choosing to let go of something that was who you were because you want to grow up or move on to a more elevated version of yourself. For Aries risings, this is associated with your 12th house of mental health and spirituality. So if you've been struggling with something like a mental health issue, an addiction, something internal, it shows that you are going towards eliminating that and working towards that over the next few months. If you are a Taurus rising, this is in your 11th house of networking and community. So you're probably deciding to leave a group or distance yourself from something that was a network that you were involved in because you want to focus more on creativity or things that are meaningful to you. If you are a Gemini rising, this is in your 10th house of career. So you are probably making the decision to switch or alter your career path. And it's going to be kind of a long few months of doing that, but you are making the decisions around that now. If you are a Cancer rising, this is in your 9th house of higher education and also long distance travel. So you are probably either finishing up a degree over the next few months, and now is kind of the beginning of the end, or a form of study, or you are deciding to move from somewhere that's not your home country, like you're studying abroad and you're like, okay, I need to start the plans to get that moving back home. If you are a Leo rising, this is in your 8th house of shared investments and assets. And this probably shows that you are either paying off something or you are selling something. So you are clearing the dependence on another party and making the decision to end an agreement or a sharing of resources with someone else. If you are a Virgo rising, this is happening in your 7th house of committed serious relationships. This is a full moon, which is an ending. It doesn't necessarily mean a breakup for all of you, but it can show a chapter ending around a partnership because you're wanting to choose yourself or choose the future. So it could be with a partner, something's ending between you guys, but it's not a breakup. It could also be a contract of some kind, not with a romantic partner. So an ending in a partnership is you choose a future version of you. If you are a Libra rising, this is in your 6th house of health, wellness, and also coworkers. So this can show that you are either dealing with a physical health issue and it's a process of a few months of getting rid of that or choosing to manage that, or you are getting rid of or like letting a team go and it's going to be a few months of changing that. If you are a Scorpio rising, this is in your 5th house of dating or romantic relationships or creativity, which can show that you are either choosing to get out of a dating world and make a decision to no longer engage romantically in a certain way, or that there's something creatively that you're done working on and you want to tie that up over the next few months. If you're a Sagittarius rising, this is in your 4th house of home or family, which can show that you're making the decision to move over the next few months. You want to get out, or that there's an ending with family that's playing out over the next few months. If you are a Capricorn rising like me, this is in our 3rd house of communication, productivity, routine, and writing. So if there's something you've been working on that was written or content or communication, you're either releasing that or it's the beginning of the end about your need to continue doing that. If you are an Aquarius rising, this is in your 2nd house of income, which probably shows that you are either spending a lot of money on something finally, that's going to be a long spending process, or you are ending a chapter of making money in a certain way. So the tarot card that we have here for this full moon is the 7 of Pentacles reversed. So when the 7 of Pentacles is reversed, it's kind of like reevaluate what your priorities are here. It can just show that you need to get your shit together, not be as scattered, and rethink your plan here. It's not a bad card. It just shows rethinking what your priorities are and what your plan is. So if you enjoyed this, please let me know in a comment and let me know what you're expecting and what your plan is for this lunar eclipse. I'm very interested to know what you guys are doing. I hope that you have a good eclipse season, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.
Oh, but there is one thing you're all